Are you prepared to transform your well-being? I'm Sanjay S, and my mission is to challenge our perspectives on food, fitness, and overall health. I own a successful nutrition and fitness business based in Orlando, Florida. And through this experience, I've learned that there's no one-size-fits-all solution. From creating delicious and healthy recipes, to training elite athletes, and even writing the book, The Food Talk. I've accumulated a wealth of knowledge, but here's the exciting part. There's always more to discover. That's why I'm embarking on a journey to connect with leading experts, unveiling the secrets to a happier, healthier life. Together, let's explore innovative ways to enhance our well-being. This is Recipe for Wellness.
Welcome back, everyone, to season 4 of our podcast, Recipe for Wellness. My God, we're in season 4. We're about to record season 3, starting in Houston, Texas next week. It's been an amazing journey so far. Season 1, season 2, season 3 of the show, season 4 of the podcast. And we've met so many interesting people that I'm so blessed. I have to say that's the word, because I've learned so much on this journey, and you, the audience, have made it possible. So in keeping tradition with bringing on interesting guests, I've got another one. So this year, we wanted to focus on a different part of the world. We wanted to focus on Europe. Now, the backstory of that is that I always kind of avoided Europe. People are like, why don't you go to Europe often? I said, I just kind of avoided it. They're like, why do you avoid Europe? I said, well, it just feels like more shopping and eating, not a lot of adventure. So that's why I went to Asia so many times. I just feel like it's so just like exotic. But this guest lives in Greece. She's going to change my whole perception of it. And I can't wait to see her when we film her in September of this year. It'll be my first trip to Greece. And I am so excited. So, without further ado, I want to introduce a new friend of mine. Her name is Myrto Mengriadi. She is based out of Greece. Rather than me do her accolades injustice, because she's done a lot out there in the world of health and wellness. Myrto, first of all, it's so exciting to have you on the show, number one. And number two, share with us and share with the audience, what is it that you exactly do?
I'm so excited to be here, first of all. And yes, I want to show you Greece and change how you feel about Europe in general.
Well, you're the perfect person for that.
So what I do in one word is what I say is I want to help people create a life they don't need a vacation from. So, and I jokingly say, because so many people are coming to Greece, stop coming to Greece. No, that's a joke. It's too crowded. No, we want you here. We want you here. But I want people to come here and really do it, not because they want to get out of the life, their normal life, what they do every day as an escape, but as part of enjoying your life every day.
Okay. So, this is a really good point you brought up. And I was going to ask you about this. So let's talk about this just a little bit, because we kind of talk about it. Show. We go left, we go right, we bring it back in the middle at a certain point. And that is, we've heard here in the States that Europe doesn't want tourists from America. You live in Greece. You've been there for quite a long time. What's the perception of the Greek people about that? Is that true? Is that false? What's going on with that?
Of course it's false. We love, first of all, Greece lives from tourism. That's the main thing that we do. And we love having people here. And the best thing for me is when I hear, oh, Greece is in my bucket list. I said, okay. Yeah. Come, when you come, please let me know that you're here. And the most Greeks speak English, because we learn English at school. So it's easy, especially for people from the States, and anybody who speaks English can very easily, have a conversation, and it's not hard. We make it easy for you.
You know, I don't want to go off on a tangent. Okay. I really don't want to, but sometimes I do. And that is, I've traveled the world. I think you have traveled the world as well. And I speak roughly four languages, right?
Hmm.
Because I was taught two dialects of Indian when I was growing up in India. And then
Hmm.
I learned French in high school, which I kept up with. And I still know some Japanese from my days of, you know, training and being in martial arts all my life. Um, that's, I'll say this, it's changing here. So my kids are learning Spanish right now,
Hmm.
more schools offer Chinese, Japanese, all these different languages that have become very mainstream because of the economy and commerce. So things
Hmm.
are changing. So I'm happy. But there was a time where people from the United States would go to different countries, just expect people to speak English, right? Yeah, it happened a lot. And thankfully, I could be a chameleon and, kind of make my way through it. I was in France. I spent some time in France for a little while, and I had a little bit of French in me at the time. But what I found in other countries, and you tell me if this is true, if the tourist is just attempting to try to understand and speak your language, I found in France and other countries, they're more than happy then to help you.
Exactly.
They just want to see you try, right? So, which is good, which is good.
Ex-
Uh,
Exactly, exactly. And we know also that Greek is not a very easy language to learn or understand. So we
yeah,
try our best to be hospitable to everybody who comes in Greece.
yeah. Yeah. Now I'll leave you with this, and that is because I want the audience to really get to
Yeah.
know you, which is when I came to this country when I was younger, I learned British English in India. Okay. And then we came to this country, we had to learn American English. Now,
Hmm.
of all the languages I've learned, American English was the hardest. The reason why? There are no rules to this at all. We just kind of make up rules as we go. So the biggest thing was euphemisms, right? You know, so I was in class in third grade, and the teacher was doing roll call, and she said Sean, and I'm looking around and said, "There's no Sean. There's a guy next to me named Scene, but there's no Sean here, right?" Right. And then somebody goes, "Oh, he's dragging me up the wall." I started looking up the wall, going, "What are we talking about here?" Right. That was the hardest thing for me to learn. And once I got it, and I moved on. So, but it's funny. Um, that being said, yeah, please go.
Hmm. I'm thinking for me, the hardest thing to learn in English is the prepositions on, in, at. I always have them wrong. And I used to be very critical of myself. This is part, so I'm going now to my good girl and perfectionism that I
Yeah,
always had in my life. And
yeah,
I always used to beat myself up, thinking, oh, I'm not going to post this because I made a mistake, and what are people going to think about this? Now I don't care.
yeah, yeah. No, it's true. You shouldn't. And the funny part is, it's funny. And then when you can relate to somebody through humor,
Yeah,
you made a new friend, obviously. So yeah.
yeah, yeah.
All right. So I met you through our mutual friend Melanie, our executive producer of our TV show, and
Hmm.
she was talking to me about somebody she had in Greece, and I said, "Okay, that's cool." And then we did a little bit more research on you, and there's a saying here and around the world: most people live life of quiet desperation. And I love this quote because it really applies to what you're trying to solve in the world. And for those who don't understand really what that means, the heart of that quote is most people live a life that they're just given. They accept it and then they
Hmm.
clock into work, they clock out. They don't have a moment of joy. They just feel
Hmm.
like they're stuck in this life and they can't do anything about it. What I love about your message, the heart of your message, is you have the ability to live the life that you want and every day. And the other saying applies to you, really, which is if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And this is why you and I think, get along so well, is because I was in that life of quiet desperation for a very long time. And then I started building a career in entrepreneurship, got kicked in the teeth more times than I could count, but that's part of the journey. And then now we're living our life where we get to meet really cool people like yourself, travel the world and eat and share stories and make the world a little better place than we found it. So I
Yes.
love our mission, and you fall right in line with that. So let's expand upon this. Talk to us about your journey. Every coach that we've ever talked to has a moment in their life where they go, "This is my mission. And this is why I want to share this with others so they don't have to go through what I went through," right? I had that
Yes.
moment, every
Yeah.
single coach. Tell
Yes.
us about your background a little bit and that moment that hit you that you said, I have to make a change in myself, and then share that with the world.
So, as I shared a bit before, I have always been the good girl, the perfectionist, a people pleaser. And I used to say yes to everything so that I could feel validated and worthy from other people. So I said yes, and I always did what I thought other people wanted me to, so that they would like me. So
Mm.
I ended up at some point in my life running our family business, which I said yes to my brother, which I really love him. But I already had a job of my own. I was an assistant to a very famous Greek singer, and I was going all over the world with her and doing the production. Uh, but I also said, of course, it is a bit of a part-time job, so I had free time, and I said yes to my brother. So I ended up running the business
Mm.
and working about 17 hours a day. I started I
Yeah.
started gaining weight.
Yep.
I started having I started having skin rashes all over my body because
Yeah.
my body, was sending me
Stress.
messages. I didn't, and I had no idea. I didn't pay attention. At
Yeah.
some point, my boyfriend, who we were living together, I came back from a conference and he had moved out.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'm laughing now. It's not funny. And the most interesting thing about that is that instead of feeling, sad, the first thing that I felt was relief, because it
Mm.
felt to me like it was one less problem that I had to take care of. Mind
Yeah.
you, the time that I was running the family business was when Greece, I don't know how many people know, but Greece defaulted twice.
Yes. I remember that.
So,
Yeah.
so it
Yeah.
was during that time. So most companies, especially our company, we were importing things from abroad. So it was they cut the credit for us, and we had to
Mm.
find cash every day. I'm not going to go into there, but the thing is that I was stressed all day long and working on autopilot for how many hours, and I did that for 5 years. And in the end, I started having the panic attacks.
Yeah.
I didn't have many, but the panic attacks were the moment, like you said, it made me finally stop and look at my life. And
Hmm.
I realized that I was unhappy in every area of my life. I couldn't recognize myself even physically because I had gained
Hmm.
the weight, and I said I need to do something. So that was a defining moment for me, as to I need to do something to change my life now. Otherwise, I don't know, I'm going to end up in the hospital.
So you and I have more in common than you know. Certainly when you come from a culture like the Indian culture and I guess the Greek culture too, because that's what I'm learning from you, for family pressure
Mm.
is a real thing. I had a job as well, and I had to work with my parents' stores and all this stuff. And I was working 70 hours. I was making nothing. I was going broke working for them. It was crazy, and I gained a bunch of weight just like you. So everything resonates, with me. But I tell my kids I have two superpowers. I'm not the strongest. I'm not the fastest. I'm not the best looking. I don't have the most money, but I have two superpowers that I've developed over the years. The first one is I never give up on anything. If I set my sights on something, we're going to go get it. And number two, this is going to rub maybe some people the wrong way, but I don't really care, is I don't care about anybody's opinion. I have this amazing ability not to care anymore about what anybody says about my life, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. It does not matter. And this is a big problem we're seeing today, especially
Exactly.
this generation and even previous generations, but more so this generation moving forward. This generation does a lot of amazing things, by the way. They're very smart. They know what they want. They vote with their dollar. They make real change. Absolutely. But the biggest problem I'm seeing, like my kids and people a little bit, older than them, is they are so influenced by what other people think, say, feel about them, especially online,
Exactly.
right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
keeping that in mind with the audience, I think what you're doing is addressing this thing right there. That's a
Yeah.
big one. I mean, even now, people in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, I talk to people all the time. They are so influenced by what other people think about them, so they just don't take action. They're like, I don't want to, rock the boat per se, right? So you had that moment now. You're like, I'm doing work for everybody else, but for myself. And you're in that dark place, and you know now you need to make a change. What was the next step?
One decision that I want to make the change.
Yes,
I started.
yes,
I started from there, and it wasn't easy. And at that moment, I felt completely lost. I had no idea what I needed to do, what I liked, which is it's a very dark place to be. I was depressed. I was really depressed, and I didn't show it. People around me didn't know. There are so many people who have problems and they hide it and they look
yep,
fine on the outside.
yep.
But I'm sure that if you have asked my friends, not my closest friend, but most people around me would say, "Oh, she's always laughing and happy and positive." And that's
Yep.
what I showed to the world, but I wasn't. So when I realized that, it was I just took this one decision, and then I just started taking one step at a time. It's
Mhm.
making the decision and then taking one step at a time. And
Yeah.
once you start moving,
Yep.
things start happening. And
Yep.
most people, and you may be at a place that you don't believe that, and I get it. But once you start taking steps and moving to the direction that you want to go, even if you don't know exactly. One more thing, I didn't know what I wanted, but I knew what I didn't want. So
There
I
you go.
started there. I started there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I
That was
don't want
amazing.
I don't want the family business. I am going to shut it down. This was a huge decision for me, which had
Mhm.
so many implications because I felt like a failure.
Mhm.
It was also, what am I going to tell my family? How am I going to tell them, and how are they going to react? What is going to happen to my employees, because they were
Yeah.
like family also.
Yeah.
So these were big decisions.
So it's that moment. And I do a lot of motivational speaking on top of health and wellness stuff like that. And I'm going to steal a line from another person. So I'm going to give him credit. It's not mine, which is they say that there's a turn back moment, which is you have a fork in the road, which is you can either continue what you're doing or keep going on this new path. But when you keep going on the new path, you can't go back now. You just can't go back. That old life doesn't want you. It's telling you, I don't want you. And we
Yeah.
just we fight it so many times as individuals. We're just trying to hang on to this old life. And we realize that once you let go of it,
Mhm.
you're going to find so many new doors open up to you, right? So you made that decision. You're at that crossroads. You said, I'm going to plow ahead. What made you want to take this? Okay, so you knew what you didn't want to do, which is amazing. That's a big thing. I always joke
Mhm.
around with my kids. It took me 40 years to figure out what I wanted to do in life, right?
50 for me. 50.
There you
That
go.
that thing was at four. It was that the moment was I was 49 years old.
Yes. See, that's even better because I'm an actor too. So what happened is I read about inspiring stories. A lot of the successful actors we see on screen today, they didn't get their first big break till they were in their 50s. So it can happen at any time, right? It's just
I
taking action.
exactly. And I also say you're never too old, but also you're never too young.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
sometimes young people also need that reminder. They think, oh, I need to wait until I'm 40 or whatever to have the life that I want. No,
Hmm.
it's you still can decide. It doesn't matter. Your age doesn't matter. The decision is the important thing.
Taking action. I think that's what you
Exactly.
said. It's just
Yeah.
taking the first step. Most
Yeah.
people are, it's like paralysis by analysis. They like, I want to find the perfect moment, the perfect moment. Perfect. There is no perfect moment. There
No.
is none, right?
No, and the problem is that when you wait for the perfect moment, then 1 year passes and nothing has happened because you're still waiting for the perfect moment. And I'm going to also quote Albert Einstein, who says that it's insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
Yep, exactly. And you also said, which I love, he said, the ability to have imagination is more important than intelligence,
Hmm.
right? And I always
Yeah.
tell people it's only delusional until it actually happens. Then it's not delusional. Then it's like it's a miracle, right? It just happened, right? So you have this epiphany now. Your family is hearing what you're going about to do. You have all these employees you loved, you want to take care of, but you had to make decisions for the greater good, which is yourself here, and for them in a sense as well.
Hmm.
So what made you decide, okay, now you took action, but what made you decide, I want to go down this path of changing people's lives for the better so they don't have to go through as many steps as you went through?
So first of all, I started reading all the books I could find on personal development, and I read the Success Principles by Jack Canfield, which helped me a lot. John Assaraf, all the. So I started. It was the. I started setting goals. So the first
Mm.
goal that I set is that I would shut down the business by the end of the year, and nobody believed that it could be done because in Greece we have a lot of bureaucracy. And it is so everybody said, oh yeah, right, you're not going, but I kept going, and by the end of the year I did it.
Yeah.
So I realized that when you goal setting actually works.
Yep.
So I started
Yep.
there, and then I started training for myself because I wanted to learn more about that. And during that process I just fell in love with the how when you go into that and you start using the tools, life becomes so much easier. And the one thing that I thought when I was learning about this, why didn't I know about this when I was younger? Why don't they teach that at school?
This is a conversation I have with my kids all the time, which is in school, when I was growing up, we had a class. It was the laughed at, joked about class called home economics. Okay. And guess what it taught you? Cooking, finances, cleaning, the basics of life you got to be able to do,
Yeah.
right? And now it's like kids are they've got more knowledge, but no real world skills to apply
Hmm.
anything, right?
Hmm.
So this is such a big topic, which is education really preparing us? Number one. And number two, it does not prepare us for life, meaning relationships, finances, all that. So now in summer classes, my kids are taking courses about finances, which is great.
Hmm.
But the big one you talked about, which is preparing you for life, it doesn't do that.
And also to learn about yourself and what you want to do, because we,
Mhm.
like you said, there's so much pressure from everywhere, and everybody is trying to uh, everybody is like you said, the we tend to listen to other people's opinion and care
Yeah.
about that, and we don't learn to listen to ourselves and
Yeah.
have the confidence to decide what we truly want, which might not be what your parents want or what your friends want, or even
Mhm.
sometimes you think that you want something because it will you will look successful,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
are you is it this what you truly want to do in your life? And also sometimes you may not know, and that's okay too.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that is a powerful statement, which is not knowing is okay.
Yes.
And I've joked I'm on career number 72 right now. Okay, until my next one. Right. That's just how I'm built. And that is you got to do everything, especially when you're young, to know what you don't like, which is what you said early on, which is perfect. And then once you land on something you love, you just keep doing it, you keep doing it, you keep doing it. And just like you being a coach and you're so passionate about what you do, we here at the, producing the show and all this stuff, I tell people, TV show host is what you see on TV. Every other day, I'm a fireman. I put out fires every single day. That's what I do. That's what people don't see. It's not a glamorous life as you think it is, right? It's
Yes,
just not.
yes.
The
Yeah.
real work behind it happens behind the camera when we're not filming. Filming is just a small window of time.
Yeah.
So share with us then if somebody is feeling, and there's a lot of these people, so I'm just going to go with a general statement here. Somebody's feeling overwhelmed, meaning they know they are not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Hmm.
They got family pressure. This is like 99% of the population can relate to this.
I
They
know.
got family pressures. They know that there's something intrinsically they want to do. They don't know what action to take. What would you tell them to do in this moment to take the first step? What would you tell them to do?
Stop.
Okay.
So for me, the first thing is to stop, because we usually don't even stop to think about that. You
Yeah.
know that there's something wrong. The other thing that I say is listen to your body. Your body is always giving you messages when something is wrong before you're ready to 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 acknowledge that.
Yes. Yeah. Great point. That's a great point.
So when you the first thing is yeah, slow down. We also live in a world where everybody's telling us to be more and do more.
Mhm.
It's okay to slow down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the first thing is stop and give yourself a moment, 10 minutes, half an hour a day, how much you can, what you can offer yourself to think about where you are and what you truly want or
Yeah.
what you don't want. So the first thing is just stop.
Hmm. No, that's a powerful one. And I will add another piece to it, which is stop and breathe.
Exactly.
Just breathe.
Yeah.
Um, I've shared my stories of going to the Himalayas with the kids last year, and we were in these Himalayan temples and high up in the Himalayan mountains. And let me put it this way: in 5,000-year-old Sanskrit writing, there was one word: breathe. Right? And just breathing gets you present. And once you're present, you're not thinking about the past where depression lives. You're not thinking about the future where anxiety resides. You're in that moment and you can see the answers more clearly.
The one thing that I do and I also teach is ask who is saying that. Notice your thoughts
Mhm.
and ask who is saying that. Is it your true self or is it someone else's belief or
Yeah.
what you think you should be doing or what you think you should want? Or so many times we do things and we judge ourselves and we haven't stopped to think who is actually saying that.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
must come from your heart. Usually most of the decisions we take are from the head, not from the
Yeah.
heart.
Oh, 100%. I got two kids, twins, are about to be 15. my daughter and I have a ritual after we eat dinner. We go for this walk in our area. It's this nature walk. We just kind of decompress, and she can talk about whatever she wants. And one thing I always remind her is that the world is going to judge you every day, all day, without mercy. So don't be hard on yourself.
I say that if we talk to other people the way we talk to ourselves, we wouldn't have any friends.
Yeah, even better. Even better. Yeah, that's really good too. Yeah.
If you think about it, and most of us have this negative self-talk,
Hmm.
and I also tell people to give that voice a name, a funny name.
Okay. Yeah.
I
So,
call mine Mr. Magoo.
Mr. Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. That's
So
a very good
so
one.
it's so
Yeah.
it's so when you do that, then you can distance yourself and have maybe a conversation. And sometimes your self-talk is trying to help you or to shield you from something that's so you it's not always bad. Sometimes it is advice, but most of the time other times it's just uh, you putting yourself down. So listen and then take the what is positive and then send him away.
That's true.
Thank you, bye bye now, goodbye.
Yep, exactly. I've had enough. I think we're done
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Okay. Um, so now, I've dealt with a lot of people, a lot of coaches like yourself. There, and there's this underlying message that you're talking about, which is the belief in yourself, taking action.
Hmm.
So you've been very successful at what you do. Can you share with us a success story you've had with a company, a client using your message, like where they were and where they are now?
Well, one that is more recent is actually a young girl
Mhm.
who came to me after a relationship that had failed.
Mhm.
And she also had problems with her family. The age where they divorced, and she had a lot of stuff going on, and she completely in the beginning she didn't know who she was. She told me she had forgotten. She remembered herself years ago. She was stronger, and she had forgotten who she was.
Mm.
And now a year has passed and she has completely transformed her life. She has moved out of Athens. She
Mm.
met a new guy, and she 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 told me that he's 98% of what how she had thought the perfect guy would be.
That's really good. 98%. That's really good. Yeah.
And almost, and when I did this exercise with her and I told her, just write down what you want,
Mhm.
send the message to the universe. And she said, and she
Mm.
was asking, could I also put that down? Isn't that contradicting? What if it's a, don't think about it, just put down everything, put everything down, and don't think about what is right, what is wrong. Just send your message to the universe and see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the old adage, if you don't ask, you'll never know. And even asking the universe, if people are afraid of it.
No,
People
and
are very afraid of it.
sometimes what we do is that we we dream, we have very small dreams because we don't believe we can actually do something. So we don't dream big enough.
Yeah.
We start to think, how am I going to get there? So the how gets in the way of dreaming. You say, I want to have this amount of money, X amount, or I want this job, or I want to go to this. And then you start thinking, how am I going to do that? I have no idea. But you
Yeah.
don't need to. What you said before, not knowing
Hmm.
is okay. You only need to know where you're going, start taking the steps, and then things are going to start happening for you. That's how, when I said I'm going to shut down the business, I had no idea how I was going to do it. No idea. And as I started taking the steps, solutions kept coming out of
Oh,
nowhere,
yeah.
out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Yeah.
Because you set the intention. So when you set the intention, and it is actually that you want from your heart, and you don't think, how am I going to get there, then things happen. So dream big. don't
Yeah.
don't make yourself small because you don't know how you're going to achieve what you want to achieve.
Yeah, it's the hardest thing in the world for a lot of people because we're control freaks. I remember like wanting so many things like with the show early on and nothing happened. And I know why it didn't happen. Number one, I wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready. Number two, I kept controlling the outcome. I was like, well, I want it to happen this way, and it's got to do this, it's got to do that. I'm like, who am I? Who am I to be so arrogant to tell the universe, hey, I know better than you as to how to bring this into my life? Which I look back at it now, going, the arrogance of myself, which is crazy, right? And it
Yeah,
came in the way it was supposed to come in, and it came in a better way than I even imagined. So,
yeah. You're right. You're right. We try so many times to control everything, and we can only think. We don't have the imagination to think of all the different ways to get there. So just
yeah.
we have to have more faith and
Yes. Yeah.
trust, but know that we are going to get there, and know that this is what we truly want. And
So,
taking action, as you said, taking action, but also sometimes slowing down and being okay when things aren't going, and getting the feedback.
yes, see, that's a big one. That is huge. I'm so glad you mentioned this one. I still am learning to deal with that. About a week ago, I was in South Florida doing some work in South Florida, and I got all these calls on Monday saying, okay, we got this. It's moving forward. We got this. It's moving forward. I was so excited. Tuesday, crickets. Nothing. Nothing. And I
No.
started to feel anxiety. I started to feel like, oh my God, well, where's this high? Where's the momentum going? Where is it going? Right. And then I took a breath. I said, I'm on the beach. Let's enjoy the beach. Let's do that.
Be
Right.
present. Be
Yes.
present.
There you go. Let's do
Yeah.
that. Guess what? Wednesday rolls around. Oh, we got everything. Here you go. Boom, boom, boom. And I was like, okay, that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do, really. Let go.
I want to say something about this. So it's not just the final destination. That's another thing that I teach and I talk about, is it's not for us to, okay, you know what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that you have your goal, but the most important thing is to enjoy the journey.
Yes.
Because
Yes. Yeah.
if you don't enjoy you cannot wait to feel happy, or when you achieve something. When you achieve it, you are going to want something else anyway. So the most important thing is to enjoy your days. And if if you have a goal and you don't enjoy the journey, maybe there's something wrong with your goal.
Well,
because
being an
because because
good.
when if you say I want to become a world famous guitarist, but you don't enjoy practicing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's so true. So, being an actor, I always look for movies of inspiration and things like that. So, the movie The Odyssey is coming out with Chris Nolan, awesome director. And I read the book, The Odyssey by Homer. Or wait,
Hmm.
was it? That was Homer. Yeah.
Homer,
Right.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
And you know what I realized is the first time I read it, I was like, "Oh, this is a cool story." I was young, right? And then
Hmm.
later in life, I read it again, and I completely missed the point. You know what the point was? The point was it's not where he's going; it's who he became along the way.
Exactly, exactly. And all the things that he had to go through, so that he would learn
Yes.
and
Yeah.
become a better person.
Yeah. It's now he is ready to accept it. He can handle it. Right. So I realized my journey was at the time, like, for example, in 2018, I think I told you this, we were supposed to get the show picked up by Discovery Channel. That all fell apart. But guess what? If I would have gotten it then, I realize now I would not have been able to handle it.
Mm.
Just being honest with myself. But it
Yeah,
took 6 years from that moment of
yeah.
trials and tribulations, being kicked in the teeth numerous times. And guess what? We're able to handle it now and
But you
grow
kept
it.
moving, but you kept moving. You didn't give
Yes.
up and you kept moving. You know, transformation takes time. I say that too. Sometimes they tell you that, oh, okay, I'm going to, come to me and let's work together and you are going to change your life in 3 months or 6 months. It's not that easy,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it does happen, and you need to start. You shouldn't be scared of or think that, oh, this is going to take too much time, because if you don't start, then it will
It's
never
that first
change.
step.
Like it's the
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I had a talk with a buddy of mine who's very successful. And I told him, I said, what I've realized is pressure, whether it's work deadlines, all that is a privilege because I'm thinking back to myself going, 5 years ago, I was hoping and praying I'd be in the spot that I'm in with all this pressure of all these things I got to do. And guess
Mhm.
what? I'm in that moment now. And we forget that. We prayed
Mm,
for where we are 3 years, 5 years prior. So when you have pressure on you about the things you want to do, that's a privilege. That means you are moving forward. You're taking the right steps. When nothing is happening and you're in the same spot constantly and no change happens, that is your sign. You got to make it, you got to do something different,
yeah,
right?
yeah, I
So,
agree.
yeah, so it's just perspective in a lot of ways. So, our audience is all about having practical applications from our guests that we can learn from.
Mhm.
And if you're talking to a big audience when this is going to air, what are three things the audience can take away from your coaching right now that they could apply to their life in this moment to move forward?
For me, it's what we already discussed were the most important things. So, first of all, stop and breathe,
Yeah.
and realize where you're right now in your life.
Yeah.
See what you want and what you don't want,
Hmm.
and decide that what you want to change, and
Yeah.
and start there. So that's that's a big one thing. And then is take the set a goal. Set a goal, and don't be afraid to dream big.
Mm.
Don't be afraid to dream big, because you don't need to know how you're going to get there. And you know what I say, even if you don't reach your goal by when you want to, but you start moving towards there, and you reach 70% or 60%, you're 60% better than where you were before.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah. It's funny. I just real quick, and that is this is the same thing I see everywhere, which is when the lottery comes out, right? People play the lottery here like they
yeah,
do everywhere in the world. This is
yeah.
the funniest part. This is what the stats show, which is hilarious to me. When the lottery is in the hundreds of millions, not many people play. When the lottery is in the billions, everybody plays. I'm like,
Yes.
oh.
In Greece too. In Greece too. Yeah.
Right. It's like, how does that make sense? Right? So it's funny to me that we're talking about this, and I was just thinking about that. But it's like it's like we don't take action because we're just like, okay, it's got to be bigger, it's got to be better, it's got to be the most perfect scenario, it's got to be this. And then we envision this whole life that's going to happen. But that's the problem, which is the universe does not respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. Am I
True.
living in the state of mind of abundance? Am I living in the state of mind of action?
Yeah.
Right? Am I living in
Yeah.
that state of mind where I have these things? It just hasn't manifested to me physically yet, but I'm working towards them.
Yeah.
That's what I've realized was kind of I guess a stumbling block for me is that I was sending it out going, this is what I want, but I wasn't living in the state of I have it already.
That's why I'm saying you need to enjoy the journey.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
about enjoying waking up in the morning and being grateful for what you're doing,
Yeah.
finding things to be grateful for, but
Yeah.
also enjoying the little things in life. You know, we don't enjoy, we are all the time on our phones.
Yeah.
Instead,
Yeah.
instead of looking at the sunset, we're photographing the sunset.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
instead of talking to our children, we let them on an iPad, and we are we are we have forgotten how to live the moment, the little moments that happen every day, all the time. Even I'm saying, even when you're in traffic, instead of being angry,
Mm-hmm.
why not listen to a podcast? Why not
Be
listen to your
productive.
favorite,
Yeah.
no, or listen to your favorite music instead of saying, "Oh my God, this is traffic," and looking at it with the negative energy. Why not say, "Oh, this is my me time.
Yep.
This is
Yeah.
my me time. I'm standing in line in a queue at the wherever. We're not going to the banks anymore, but we used to the supermarket. Instead of saying, "Oh, there are 10 people in front," just say, "Oh, I can now just listen to my music or think of nothing. I can just stand there for 5 minutes and have some breathe and have some quiet time for myself." Instead of being stressed of how fast the queue is going to move.
Yeah. No,
You
it's
know,
so true.
we forget, uh, and this is the one of the more important things that I've learned and I've applied in my life, to look at the every moment and not wish I was somewhere else. I used to do
Exactly.
that. I used to always want to be somewhere else. I was with my
100%.
I was with my friends. I wanted to be with my family. I was with my family. I wanted to be on my own. I was here. I wanted to be on vacation. Where all the time I always thought, oh, this is not good enough. If
Yep.
I were there, it would be better.
Yeah. No, so this is such a big point. And we could spend hours talking about this.
Exactly.
I'm a victim of that too, which is instead of, coming back to being present, which is a daily
Mhm.
affirmation for me, like the
Mhm.
moment I see myself drifting, I'm like, nope, bring it back in. Let's go. Bring it back in, get present. And the minute I get present, guess what? Oh, that email that I was waiting for, it comes in. That phone call I was waiting for, the phone's ringing. It's not a magic trick. It's not.
No,
It's
no.
about taking that time to say, this is where I'm at. I'm only going to focus on this moment right now. And that's it. And I've learned being a parent now. So my kids are going to be 15 in August. I've got 2 good years left with these kids before they head out to the world and go find their own path. Right. So
Yeah.
every moment with them, I'm present. I am 100% there. I'm not thinking about work. I'm not thinking about stressors in life. It's going to happen every day. But with them, it's just about being in the moment, being present, and just enjoying each other's company to the best of our abilities.
Yeah. That's being present is something that we don't even realize that we are not present. We are
Yeah,
so much,
it's
you are so much in our heads.
yeah,
People, we are so much in our heads, and for me, I think this is the most, probably the most important thing that we can learn. It's not easy.
No, God, no.
It's not easy. You are present, and then you realize the next moment that you're thinking about the next moment, or
You're
you're thinking
drifting.
about, okay, what am I going to have for dinner? Or, oh, yesterday happened this and this and that. Oh, where I'm going to go on vacation. And then you realize that you've driven to the other side of the city, and you have no idea how you got there, because the whole time you were in your head thinking about something else.
Well, you know what's so funny is that when we went to India to the Himalayas, I hired a guide to take us off the beaten path. So he took
Hmm.
us to this monastery high in the mountains, and he said, "Guess what? You guys get to chant with these monks." And I was like, "Oh my God, let's go!" So we put our cell phones away, everything away, and my son at the time, was 14. He was just like, "Oh God, here we go again," my daughter was kind of into it,
Nightmare,
but
nightmare.
I know, kind of into it, but not really. I said, "Just give it a try. We're gonna do this for 2 minutes, okay?" We go in there. You got 100 monks chanting. That's that deep, throaty resonance frequency that just like clears all the negative energy. And we're sitting there. I say, you don't have to chant. Just listen, close your eyes, and just drift. Whatever you got to do. For 2 minutes, he did this. And he's got crazy ADHD, like all over the place sometimes.
Oh,
After that 2 minutes, I've never seen him more relaxed, more chill. And he's just like, that was really, really cool. I said, yeah, you got to do something that a lot of people pay a lot of money to do or never get a chance to do.
mm.
And then some of the monks came out, and then I asked our guide to speak to them for us because they don't speak, a lot of them speak Hindi, which I can speak, but they spoke a different dialect, really. And you know what? I asked the guide to ask them, I said, what have they been training for? Like I was really curious. Like
Oh,
what's
yeah.
the daily purpose of their life in doing this? Because
Hmm.
this is all voluntary, by the way. They don't have to do this. They leave their village, they leave their family to do this completely on their own volition. And
Wow.
they can walk out of there anytime they want to, right? It's not like they sign up for 10 years. No, they're coming in voluntarily, they leave voluntarily. And he asks the monk, and the monk tells him, and he goes, "You want to hear this?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "He's been here for a really long time to learn to be present." I said, "Wow." And I'm like, we think it's hard. These guys have been training their entire lives just to be present. So it is very, very, very hard. And it's like a muscle. You just got to practice it every day, just a
Yes.
little bit at a time.
Yes. Yes. And the benefit of being present is that whatever happens around you, you have inner peace.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so
It,
true. Yeah.
when you and it can be just moments, but you also have clarity. You have clarity at that moment when you can stay present, when even when there's chaos around you,
Yeah.
then you can have this inner peace and this wisdom to act in a better way and make better decisions.
100%.
I'm also a
So,
teacher of present. One of the things that I
well,
have, not that I've mastered it. We are always learning, but getting better.
no, it's a daily affirmation. That's why
Yeah,
doctors say they practice medicine. They didn't perfect it. They're practicing it, right? So
yeah.
uh, I could talk to you about this a lot and forever. Honestly, I love this kind of stuff. And just in the short time we've been talking now, I've taken away a lot of stuff that I'm going to utilize. I didn't think about it a certain way. It's all about perception. So you have a real gift, and I'm so glad you're sharing it with the world right now. And that being said, this is your moment. This is what we call the shameless plug hour, where I want you to talk to the audience about where they can find you, what you're doing, how they can connect with you, because they're going to see you in season 3, which is just right around the corner in 2027, which is crazy, right? I can't believe we're moving this fast.
Well,
And
I
we're
can't.
going to,
I can't wait to see you in Greece and take you out and show
yes.
you places here in Athens. And I wish you could stay for days, and we could go also to there's so many
Well,
places you can.
I'll tell you this though. What I normally do is when we travel that far for the show, what I normally do is we get everybody out there, we film, and then I extend my trip. So that's probably going to happen. So just to explore the area, right? So
You should.
I will for sure. So that being said, please, I want you to take this time, share with our audience where they can find you, how they can connect with you, and because you've got so many amazing things going on. I see the book right behind you there. I saw
Yeah.
that you launched your books there, which is amazing. And so share with us all these wonderful things that are going on, how people can connect with you.
Well, the first place is my website, which is my name, mirtomangriotti.com. So
Mm-hmm.
from there you can find everything. Also, I published a few months ago my two books with a
Mm-hmm.
3 months difference. So it's the one is called Roadmaps, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a system for creating goals that are aligned with who you are, so that you can succeed in completing them, like we spoke before.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is called As I Am, and it's a teaching memoir, and it takes you through my journey of transformation, and it also has quotes and questions at the end of each chapter, and exercises that you can do so that you can follow along. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that it can really help you transform your life. And it's like what I always thought is that when I got through went through my transformation, I felt very lonely in my path,
Yeah, me too. Me
and
too.
and I wrote this book as a companion. It can feel as a companion, and I didn't have answers. And sometimes I believe that people write books and they're already, at a very high level. They have arrived, and sometimes I think that they forget the how hard the journey was.
Yeah.
And what I love about this book is that I go through the process with you, and I describe all the setbacks, all the difficult things, and how I felt, and what I did, and the doubts. So
Yeah.
that's another thing. Of course, I do personal coaching,
Mm-hmm.
transformational coaching. I call it deep coaching, and I prefer to do it online on Zoom with cameras off and eyes closed, because I think that you can go a lot deeper and be more
Yeah,
present and get
absolutely.
answers quicker. And the last thing, which is my pet thing, is I organize retreats here in Greece, and they're very intimate
Love it.
retreats, just with 6 people, because I think that this is the way I want people to. And we don't just we do the transformation, but we also visit sites. We also eat together.
Mm.
I rent a minivan, and I take you to Delphi, where
Oh, nice.
in Delphi there is the scripture which says, "Know thyself."
Yes, yes. That's right. That's right.
So it's a combination of transformation and experiencing life to the fullest, and being present while you're
Yeah.
doing that, and learning to do that.
Well, you're also a speaker. So I saw
Yes.
that you just did a nice event. You got another one coming up in Minneapolis. Is that right?
Um, yes. Yes.
Hmm. We keep tabs on you. Don't worry. We know where you're going to be at.
I was thinking, how do you know that? That's why I was like, oh, how he's stalking me.
Yeah, you put it on. Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. Yeah, I'm not a
Yeah, I
social media
know.
guy, but we saw that. But no, that's, it's amazing how from when I first got introduced to you and, you know, you had this very interesting energy about you and I was told all these really cool things that you're doing. And I've only known you a very short time for the audience, just so that they know. But between the time that I actually introduced myself to you and to where we are now, you have made quantum leaps in everything, which is amazing, right? That's a really short period of time to get all this traction. That's a lot.
Yeah, I can say something about that. I think that as I say that transformation takes time, but there comes a moment that you will see this quantum leap.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it's great. What we're going to do is we're going to post your website onto the bottom third of this podcast so people could see it. And then
Mhm.
social media, it's an evil, I get it, but we all have to share it. What's the
Yeah.
most popular social media that you would like people to connect with you on?
Um, Instagram and LinkedIn, I think.
Okay. So we'll put your Instagram handle and your LinkedIn handle
Mhm.
on this podcast as well so people could find you. So there's so much more we could dive into. I would love to do it. But we're going to save that for the show so people can tune into
Yes,
that. We're going to save that for the
I
show.
can't wait. I
Yes.
really can't wait. I'm looking forward, first of all, to meeting you in person.
Yeah. No, no. We all are so excited. You know, I told our team, I said, looks like we're going to Greece. They're like, sign me up. Let's go. Let's go.
That's a good thing. Everyone wants to come, so that's why I do the retreats. But it's
That's,
not
yeah,
just about vacations.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, no, I totally get that. So, what would you like? I want to give you this other opportunity. What would you like to leave the audience with to think about before we end the podcast?
I really want you to think and realize that you can have a life you don't need a vacation from. You are
Mhm.
just one decision away from it.
See, that's, I don't think we could say it enough,
And
honestly.
you know that I know that many people will say, yeah, right.
I
Easy
get
for
it.
you, easy for you to say. I'm sure that many people will go through that.
Hmm.
Yeah, you don't know what I'm going through.
Yep. No, it's so
But
true. I've heard it too.
yeah, but you know what? There was a time where I believed that n- there was no way out for me.
Mm, me too. Yeah.
And and when you're there, there is all, just take the step. Take the first step. Don't stay where
Yeah.
you are. Don't stay stuck.
Yeah.
That's what I want. And ask for help also. I didn't
Yes.
ask. I didn't ask. I didn't ask for help so many times. You know, maybe your family is
Mhm.
not the right person to ask for help, but reach out. Reach out to somebody and ask for help. Don't do it. You don't have to do it on your own.
Well, you know, your message resonates on so many levels because we explored the epidemic of loneliness in season two on the tail end of that season. We're going to dive deeper into it even more in season three because we
Good.
cannot talk about it enough. We just can't.
Good. You know,
There's
there's
so
so
much
much.
involved in it.
Yeah, there's so much shame. You know, we are afraid to ask for help because we feel it's a weakness.
100%.
And
100%.
it's not because everybody needs help. Everybody needs at some point in their lives, and we're not. We live in this universe with the 8 billion people. We are not on our own. Not everybody goes in their in it's their own separate way. That's why we're here together, and we are here to help each other
It's so
and
true.
be there
So
for
true.
one another. And the main thing is love.
Well, you know what what I really take away from this, aside from all the amazing points you made, is that everybody in the world is stuck in their own little bubble, right? Like we're
Mm,
here in the States, we feel like these are just problems unique to us, right? I was in India, you're in Greece, and I'm listening to you going, this is a problem everybody from any culture at any
e-
given time feels. Everybody's
exactly.
going through this. So it's
Exactly.
so important to share this. And I know you just don't speak with people in Greece, you speak with people all over the world because they
Mm,
can all relate to this thing. And I want people to really understand that this is not a individual problem. This is a world problem that we're dealing with here.
exactly.
So, so thank you for what you do. Um, can't thank you enough. Can't wait to see you. And the episode's gonna be just amazing. The vistas and you being our tour guide, it's gonna be so exciting. Um, that being said, thank you again for being on our podcast, and to our audience. Season 2 is launching all over the place in PBS. Season 1 just got the first airing on a streaming channel, which is on our website. I'm going to share it more on LinkedIn, but we're hitting about, I don't know, 15 more streaming channels throughout the months now, which is great. And
Perfect.
then we're going to make our Q4 network debut on ABC, NBC, CBS this year. So exciting. So all that's coming. So everybody, I'm sorry, but you're going to see us a lot. It's just going to happen, which is great. And then this episode is going to air next week as our kickoff episode for season 4 of our award-winning podcast. And then Mirto is going to spearhead season 3 of the TV show. We're going to start filming next month. We're going to be in Houston, and other places we're going to be in Greece, hopefully Germany, Virginia, North Carolina. So we're going to be all over the place. Yeah. So we are excited. That being said, thank you again, Mirto. And to our audience, thanks for tuning in. And we'll have another guest on the next episode of our podcast, Recipe for Wellness. We'll see you then.